Hey everyone, what is going on? I'm Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy, and this is your Sagittarius New Moon workshop. So, right off the top, we can break this down. When we evaluate Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius is mutable fire, ruled by Jupiter. Mutable can talk about the energy being adaptable, being able to shift easily, not being rigid in your approach. Now, if we're talking about fire energy, this is passion, this is heat, this can be linked to ambition, what makes us happy, but also fire is quite simply light. It can illuminate spaces. It can also change alchemical properties, right? If we're talking about fire using its elemental power to change water into vapor or ice into water. There's this notion of we can use our light to change our perception. Other people's light can be used to heal us, their gifts, their love, their energy as a whole. Now, if we're talking about this Sagittarius new moon, we can then break it down of shifting light, shifting passions to help us start a new cycle. And if we're including Jupiter into the mix, Jupiter can be linked to expansiveness, healing, knowledge, luck. Jupiter is currently in the sign of Taurus, which speaks to comfort, security, love, money. And Jupiter is currently retrograde. Now, we do not fear retrogrades because Mercury literally stations retrograde about 8 hours after this new moon goes exact. What's interesting about this is the timing because Jupiter is going to station direct at the end of December. Mercury will station direct at the end of January. So I'm saying this because there's likely a big, obvious, loud opportunity for you to slow down, for you to rest, for you to heal, so that you can reevaluate what your dreams are, what the stories are that you're feeding into. What is another word for story? Our beliefs. Our beliefs around how our dreams get to happen, how they come true. Now, I want to show you this with the astrology because it's going to prove that point very easily. Now, we have the moon and the sun at 20 degrees, making that applied square to Neptune. What's also really important is that the moon, when it was in its earlier degrees of Sagittarius, Sunday, Monday, we had that square to Saturn. So I'm bringing this up because there's likely something that you know that you need to either slow down or be a better disciple of your time, or quite simply need more support, accountability. Because Jupiter can also speak to teachers, mentors, coaches that are going to help you heal, help you expand. And so with the moon making a square to Neptune, especially given we're talking about this as a new moon, it could be that you are feeling frustrated, especially with Mars conjunct the moon. You're feeling frustrated at a certain dream or belief or story. You're feeling frustrated that things aren't either working, or there could be this general brain fog or confusion, or maybe other people are making you confused. There might be a situation that feels like you can't get out of, like you're in a maze per se in your mind, especially with Mercury stationing retrograde on the same day. What I will say is that both the sun and the moon can be archetypal energies for the father and the mother. So this can also be a time where you're reevaluating stories that you picked up from childhood, that you picked up from parents, grandparents, or mother and fatherly like people in your life. And that could have been a teacher, a mentor, a coach from when you were younger, right? It doesn't always have to be the parents. And this is something I want you to evaluate as well, because what we feed into every single day is also part of our story. And stories are such a big part of Sagittarius energy, right? We're talking about mutable fire, the half horse, half human, going from land to learn more, to gain more approach in terms of their knowledge, their philosophy. I also think of Sagittarius as well as being very gregarious, being very entertaining, but also this deep thought to want to connect with other peoples, connect with other cultures so they can build their spiritual database. They can learn more about the collective so they can use that, whether it be to teach or to entertain. Now, if you are wanting to grow in either one of those areas in terms of higher knowledge, higher healing, or just being able to enjoy your life more, then pay attention to what you're getting from an intuitive standpoint, because that's also very strongly linked to Neptune, right? Another thing I want to say with Neptune is that it could be a frustration around your spiritual practices, your faith, if you are into religion, how that is helping you, how that is molding you. And sometimes this can be an overarching like, I'm doing all the work, I'm doing all the spiritual practices, I'm being grateful. Like, why isn't it working? And that's when we get to go deeper. Hello, Jupiter, the ruling planet of this lumination, making an opposition to Venus and Scorpio. This is where we get to feel. This is where we get to go all the way into the depths. One may say the underworld, and not in a sense of hell, in the sense of going deep, deep, deep down to see where that subconscious layer is, to see where those fears, those past versions of ourselves, those shadow aspects of ourselves, shadow aspects from others, to see what needs to come through so that these old perceptions or these old illusions or even current illusions in our life are no longer phasing us or don't have the same power, so we can integrate that and move forward. Now, what I also want to bring into this picture is that stories, another word for stories, movies. When actors are getting interviewed, they're like, the story of so-and-so was portrayed in this movie. What a beautiful story this was to share. One of my favorite movies is Legally Blonde. Of course. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie, but at near the beginning, Elle gets broken up with her boyfriend. She takes that time to cry. She's in her room, she's watching movies, she's eating chocolates, she suts out everyone, she goes and processes that all. We don't just bypass that scene when we're watching Legally Blonde. And yes, that scene might be short, but still pivotal in her healing journey of processing that breakup. If we were in that movie and just told Elle to get over, it's not a big deal. No. Even when someone tried to go to Elle's room and get advice, another sister from Delta Nu was like, no, like she needs her time alone. She just got broken up with. When we need time to process, when we need time to rest, to heal, to work through our emotions, we can't just bypass that. We need to be able to feel those feelings so that we can maybe get a different viewpoint or different vantage point of what this actually is, so that we don't just keep looping and circling through the same story or the same fear, or us getting confused in our mind of why didn't this work, or why did that person say this thing, or why didn't they respond, or how come this isn't working. We need that time to be still. If you're feeling like you need time to rest, you need time to integrate, you need time to invest into a resource, a coach, a mentor, that is a very beautiful opportunity to do this. Now, if you would like the services of a sexy Versace wearing pirate, I am here to support you. Of course, it can be whoever you resonate with. And if you're disciplined to do that self-independent work, that is phenomenal. However, with working with clients for many moons, sometimes when you're in it and you're so in it, it's hard for you to see things from a different vantage point. It's hard for you to see things from a higher viewpoint. So if you've been thinking about wanting to connect, wanting to invest into someone or something, a course, a program, a book, coach, mentor, whoever it is, this would be an ideal new moon to start processing that, maybe going back, especially with Mercury stationing retrograde on the same day. It's like, oh, I actually meant to go invest into this or go contact this person. I'm going to go back and communicate Mercury with them to get the higher knowledge and the higher healing, Jupiter. And I will say this, at least from a personal perspective, that I hear a lot of clients, even when I'm working with clients or people when they reach out to me in the DMs or emails, like, it's too expensive, I can't afford it, I can't afford it. What you're saying is, I'm not worthy of receiving this item, this service, this healing. Because imagine if you were with a lover who you love and respected so much, and you only want to see them be their best and highest self. And that lover was saying to you, you're too good for me, you're too good for me, I can't accept this. You'd probably be confused, like, no, I want to help you, I want to be with you, like, let's create a beautiful life together. And if they kept saying, you're too good for me, you're too good for me, eventually you would not be able to grow that connection deeper if that person didn't want to do the work to match the love that you're putting into the relationship. And you are likely to find someone who does appreciate your love, who does want to build a life together. Now, when we say that's too expensive, it's too expensive, I can't afford it, I can't afford it, it's the equivalent of telling this amazing lover who wants to help you, who wants to build a life, that you're too good for me. If you have a desire for anything in this world, it's for a specific reason. You can always afford it. There's always a way. But first of all, you have to believe it's true. And that again can be part of that moon Neptune square of where are these stories of scarcity? Where are these stories of self-worth? Where are these stories of abundance, your dreams coming from? And are they in alignment now? So that you're able to go higher and higher. And guess what? It's all relative. Even myself, I'm looking at different opportunities and different expansion, different investments in 2024 that even make me, I'm like, whoo, I've never spent this much money before. And of course, there's going to be a sticker shock, which is good. That means that the work is working. When you're investing more money than you ever have before, there's going to be a moment where you need to feel that contraction to then allow for the expansion, to allow for the downloads, the opportunities, the right people, the right energies to come in. Also, when I worked with my mentor for the first time, I was taking money out of my savings every single month, every single quarter, so I could afford working with them. And at the time, for me, it was a lot of money. I remember thinking that was what, circa 2018? Yeah, 5 years ago. And I knew it was going to be an investment that would work out in my favor. And it did. And now looking at the amount that I invest, I'm like, oh, I can easily afford this because it's also been 5 years. So I'm also excited now because when I'm 5 years in the future, looking back at this moment, I can acknowledge that it's a lot of money that I'm looking at in terms of these different investments, but I can easily afford that because the work always works. And when you have that type of love and nurturing expansion in your corner consistently to help you rewire your subconscious, to help you recode your mindset that wants to help you expand, Jupiter, that wants to help you make more money, that wants to help you get me more love, Jupiter and Taurus, it gets to become easier and easier. But like I said, we all have these moments in our journey where we're like Elle Woods, and you need that time to cry and to feel and to process. That doesn't deter you away from your goal, your goals, your dreams, all the things. It's okay to rest. It's okay to be still. It's okay to heal. So that moving forward, we can't just like keep bypassing everything and go. We know that maybe on paper, but when we're being asked to pause, when we're being asked by source indirectly saying it's not your time yet, we have everything lined up perfectly for you. But first of all, you need to learn these lessons. And if you don't learn these lessons, you're not going to be able to enjoy this. You're not going to be able to hold this at all. Nothing's working against you. It's working for you. It's working through you to get you to a place of having what you've always wanted easily. And until we can accept that and believe that, it's going to be harder to be able to receive the love from all these different people and all these different opportunities in your life. All right. Going back to the lover analogy, when people say, and when energies say, and when opportunities say, I love you, let's build a life together, that is your opportunity to be present and to hear those words, to hear the intuitive downloads and say, yes, I want to go forward with this person. I want to invest in this course or in this individual or in this trip. Not from an ego standpoint, not from a place of numbing out or bypassing, because you truly feel called to take that opportunity to bet and invest on yourself to move forward in a very beautiful way. That, for me, is what's coming through with this Sagittarius new moon energy. Remember, if you are feeling called to slow down, then do so. And especially with all this hard and challenging energy to Neptune, because it's not just the moon and the sun, we also have Mars there as well. But you have to be very mindful of other people's energies, because let's say you're at a holiday function, a Christmas party, a family get together, and you intuitively don't feel like you want to go because you trust your intuition. You maybe just feel called to rest. You don't want to be around other people's energy. Please, please, please trust that. You're watching this workshop. You obviously are curious about the astrology, or maybe just about this new moon, or you just happen to come across this energy for whatever reason. Trust your intuition. That square to Neptune does not play. It's like when I'm not sure if any of you have taken the subway in a major city, but when you go into a certain like cable car and you're like, ooh, the energy is not good here. I'm going to like walk myself a couple cars over and this feels better. You can just tell when the energy is dense, or when there are certain people who are like, ooh, the energy is not the vibe. I need to make sure that I'm protecting my energy. Guess what? Parties, clubs, homes, people have the same effect. And Neptune dissolves boundaries to allow the energy to come in. It's also the exact same when you see someone on the street that you absolutely love, maybe like a close friend or a family member, whomever, and you give them a hug and you're like, oh, I feel so much better just seeing that person. There's a clip that has gone viral of Emma Watson seeing Margot Robbie. I'm not sure if it's like the Met Gala or just some red carpet, and they just both like sigh and like smile and embrace each other. I'm like, yeah, that's the vibe that we want to go for. So what I'm saying is that over these next couple weeks, as Jupiter is finishing its retrograde, as Mercury is in the retrograde period as well, I want you to really tune into your thoughts, your intuition, your emotion, and protecting that, because this can quite literally be like a chrysalis or cocoon phase that the collective is going through, and you're not going to want to batter that cocoon or put it near a fire or douse alcohol over it necessarily. I'm not saying you can't have fun. Of course, have all the fun. What I'm saying is that I want you to listen to your intuition and not act from an ego or from a fear of loss or that something good is going to happen if you don't go. Like, no FOMO, no fear. Remember, we're breaking through the illusion. The more you rest, the richer you get. The more you trust yourself, the more other people trust you. Remember, you can spin these beliefs however you see fit that are going to unfold in your favor. All right. So let's pull some tarot. This will be a general collective. And what's coming through as well is a message that you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. This is what you need to hear, okay? And me, myself too. A message that we all need to hear. And of course, if you have dominant Sagittarius energy in your chart, sun, rising, moon, or any of the other planets, especially your ascendant though, or moon, then this is likely going to be deeply affecting you. And of course, we talked about Neptune in relation to dreams, but this is also a way in how you get to approach your dream. Remember, with Sagittarius being a mutable sign, it's a way that your dream gets to either happen faster or easier. Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, it's not working, then obviously either it's not ready yet, or there's a different way to do it, or there's a lesson to be learned that helps you to enjoy it better. So pay attention to your dreams. And if there's a better or easier way for you to approach that dream, that's going to make it more enjoyable moving forward. So I'm seeing a lot of apples and plums. Of course, apples, these are red apples, so that can be the root chakra, plums, purple, so root, third eye. What did we just talk about? Trusting our intuition, so we're being in safe settings during these holidays. It could also be, when I think of fruit in general, it's one of those things like nature's candy. So what are sweet things that you're craving? Maybe it's an invitation to look at your physical health and nutrition. I was gonna say looking forward, but it's like something you really do need to look at your intuitive eating and your nutrition. Like if you're not eating well, if you are being like, I'll do it in the new year, I'll do it in the new year. That's a very common thing during the holidays. Like, I don't need to worry about this now. I'll just focus on January. That's not the right mindset to have. Remember, this is a message you need to hear, not necessarily want to hear, because you're always then putting things in the future. I'll do it later. I'll do this in 2 weeks. No, you get to do it now. This needs to change now so that we're integrating these habits. Doesn't mean you have to go complete 180 and cut out everything. What it means is that you're making conscious, smart decisions with your nutrition that are going to help build a better foundation every single day. And that could also be one of the things you invest in. Maybe you're going to hire or seek out a personal trainer or nutritionist or holistic medicine individual that can help you get everything back on track. But for some of you who've been thinking about really investing into your nutrition, we're not delaying that into January. This could also be something as well with Mercury in the or stationing retrograde, that you're like, oh, now I'm actually going to do this. I've been meaning to send that email. I've been meaning to make that correspondence, to book that appointment. This is the time to do so. And also, one final download with that is, what do you consider sweet? Like, what do you consider tempting or alluring or pleasurable? That might also change. That might also be the thing that is a key that's going to help you move through the next door to your dream. So what do you consider sweet? That is a question that you can contemplate in all aspects, not just nutrition, with regards to pleasure. You all know what I mean. Venus is in Scorpio. I'm sure you know what I mean. And I am seeing 3 doors. So this could be multiple opportunities. This could be multiple like lovers. This could just also be maybe some of you were looking at moving. So there's like opportunities ahead of you. And I'm just seeing like the person has these keys around their neck. So you don't even have to worry or stress out being like, am I going to be able to, like, you already have what it takes to move through these doors, to move forward. The fear of what if I pick the wrong door? If this is calling out to you, like these doors are already here, they're all good. They all serve a divine purpose. And it's likely that with these 3 doors or these opportunities in front of you, you're meant to walk through all 3 of them. Like there's no booby traps, there's no dead ends. It's an opportunity for you to go forward and experience all these different pathways, so you know full well it's like I did all of them. I did everything I wanted to do. There wasn't anything holding me back except for me, because you literally have, like, I'm looking down, it's like they have the keys around their neck. So it's just you. And that also can be circling back to what we said before, and they're kind of nodding. Yeah. So this could be what I was saying before in terms of maybe you just need time to rest. Maybe you're not ready physically, emotionally, spiritually to walk through a door. Like, I'm so exhausted. Even the thought of taking one step is causing me to be extremely frustrated or overwhelmed. That's okay. But knowing that when you are ready, these doors are waiting for you to be opened to walk through, but they're not showing me what's behind the doors. So it's going to be different for everyone. Like, these might not be the same for all of you watching, of course. It might be with certain people, friends, lovers. It could be opportunities. It could be moving. It could be many different things. But 3 is obviously coming through for a very specific reason. And they're very clearly, and again, take all this if it resonates, but the channel is very open right now, which is another benefit of having a luminary, especially during a full moon in aspect to Neptune. You're not meant to walk through all 3 at the same time. So if there's multiple downloads coming in and around this new moon, that's good. You're like, and sometimes that confuses clients when they're talking like, how do I know, like, if I should act on this intuitive download or just let it sit and percolate on the back burner? You can write these things down. You can have these ideas. I've gotten downloads before. Even I'll share this one. It came through very strongly that I was going to be in New York for Christmas this year. And I was like talking about it. I had a friend that invited me to be with their family. And I was like, oh, like I might be in New York. Can I let you know? And it was coming through so strong. I was even looking at hotels for December of this year. And then when I got back from California, I'm like, no, not yet. Like, that might be a download for next Christmas or a Christmas in the future. And I'm very intuitive, very psychic, but it still was like, oh, let me see like how this next trip plays out before I book it. And I'm grateful that I did. And I was very clear and honest with my communication with all parties involved. So I know that that's going to come through at some point, probably next Christmas or like the Christmas after, because it was very, very strong. I'm sharing that because sometimes it's so real and you're like, we can get impulsive and book it right away. And that's fine. If you feel called to book it, whatever that is, or pursue it or talk to that person. But what they're showing me in relation to the 3 doors is that you have the keys, walk through them when you're ready, and they're meant to kind of be approached one at a time. Like physically, if you're going into a mall or going through a doorway, you can't go through 2 doorways at the exact same time. You have to go through one, go in the store, you leave the store, and then you go into the second one, right? So don't be overwhelmed or think that you're losing out by picking one over the other. They all get to work in your favor. I think that's it. I keep seeing 12 as well. I mean, this new moon is on 12/12, December 12th. But if there's an important energy that's coming in either in 12 days or 12 weeks, or even this next year, 12 months, that could be something as well. If you're intuitively feeling it's like, this is going to happen soon. And what I will say, especially with me having this eye healing, and it's healing beautifully, I'm very grateful. But if I'm ever in a period of contraction or pain or not being where I want to be in this glorified hologram that we call life, I say to myself, this is temporary. This is changing. It's getting better and better. So for me, I acknowledge that what I'm feeling is challenging, is frustrating, is hard, is painful, but it's very temporary. It's going to shift soon. Just like when I know when I'm experiencing the best day ever, I soak up every single second because I'm like, this is going to change. The only constant thing is change. Hello, we're talking about Sagittarius, mutable fire, changeable passions. So I want to be able to enjoy every good moment. And that's the beauty of being in the moment and not projecting so much into the future. But also when you're going through a challenging time, it's like, this is temporary. It's going to change. There's obviously something for me to learn in this contraction, in this difficulty, in this painful time to help me get past it and also help other people. There's been so many clients that I've worked through or worked with or through. So many clients this year that have come to me that have had health issues. And having done so much research on the human body and health and the emotions linked to infection and disease and pain in the body, I was able to help a lot of those patients, first of all, get off the ledge of being very scared and being very panicked, especially like a country like America, where healthcare can be quite expensive and not covered. Because I did so much healing and so much work on myself, I was able to help others. And that can often be something that we forget in those moments where it is challenging or painful, that one, it's for our best benefit, but secondly, we get to help other people as we work through that energy. If we're talking about Jupiter being linked to Zeus, even though he was a little bit of a player, he also gave a lot of gifts and was very generous with his power. So if we're talking about Sagittarius energy of giving you this knowledge, giving you these gifts, it's to help you and help other people as well. So think of that as you're going through any time. That's not just for your benefit. It's going to be helping so many other people in the grand scheme of things. And generally speaking, because I hear this a lot with clients and just like people that I talk to, most of the times when people say what they want to do with their life, with their dreams, I want to help people, I want to help people, I want to give back, I want to help build community, which are all beautiful things. But if you're wanting to give back and wanting to build, then there's likely certain lessons that you're going to have to learn so that you can help hold space when people are going through. If you've never had any difficulty in your life, no pain, nothing ever bad befall you, if someone was going through it, you could not have empathy. There'd be no compassion because you literally wouldn't understand what that is like because you've never been through anything bad, never anything painful, never anything contractive. It's part of the human experience to go through these things, to show up on a little camera recorded workshop wearing an eye patch, and it's all good. It's all good. And I think in true Sagittarius fashion as well, if you can learn to laugh at it, laugh with yourself in the process, just makes things a lot easier because you're like, oh, this isn't that serious. It's very temporary, and I'm going to enjoy the ride that my soul signed up for. Okay, good. And some of you need to meditate more. The last thing they showed was someone meditating. It's like the scene from Freaky Friday at the very beginning where Jamie Lee Curtis's character, she's like meditating and then opens her eyes, does her nails, meditating, like sends a text, meditating. It's like, no, like put the phone down, close the screen, and just sit with yourself. Be still. Even if you're watching this, you can pause it right now before I pull the cards and just be still. 30 seconds, 60 seconds. There's no rush, which I think is very curious with this Sagittarius full moon, pardon me, new moon, making those squares to Neptune, having the ruling planet retrogrades, like there's no rush. As I said at the beginning, it's like go for it, this energy of you can have whatever you want, but there's no rush for you to get it. And there is this energy of hurry up and wait. I talked about that in the week ahead breakdown where you don't need to stress yourself out. That by not doing something, it's not going to work, or that by resting, it's going to take longer. And it could be an invitation to go for it and rest, go for it and take that trip, go for it and release the fear so that everything gets to be easier moving forward. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, 3 cards, please. Oh, yes. Okay. We love when the moon comes out, and I was shuffling those cards, what, for at least 5 minutes. First card that comes up, the moon. And then we have the Ace of Swords, and then the 5 of Wands reversed. So with this, there's obviously clarity, downloads. Please pay attention to your dreams in and around this new moon. And it could have been over the weekend. It could have been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. It doesn't matter, but there's obviously clear downloads. What did we just talk about? This sword breaking through the crown chakra, clarity. Also, the Ace of Swords in many tarot texts is like miracles, breakthroughs, an aha moment. So there's something coming through. And the typical meanings of the moon card can also be things you have to watch out for, or secrets being revealed, or things coming back to your purview. And that is, again, what we talked about, that Mercury now retrograde shortly after this new moon goes exact, is like, oh, there's maybe something that needs to occur, or maybe a conversation that needs to happen, or maybe an opportunity that's going to come back that you're like, oh, this is what I want. It's interesting that we have the Five of Wands because we didn't just say like this over competitiveness or feeling like you're in this rat race or that you're further behind because you're not taking time to rest or to heal or to do the things that you emotionally feel called to do. Just noticing, like I said, I keep saying invitation, but I feel like it's a proper word with this new moon. It's an invitation for you to see where you're making your life more difficult. See where you feel that what you're doing isn't enough or that you're working so hard and not getting ahead. It's like, is that competition real? For some people, it is. Maybe there is that competition at work to succeed, to perform, to make money, to be up for this promotion, whatever it is. However, is there an easier way for you to get ahead? Are there things from your past or from your subconscious that are actually the reason why it feels so challenging and difficult? It might not actually be challenging and difficult. You're making it more challenging and difficult. And that's where the breakthrough gets to occur. And just noticing that as well, like we said, with the sun and moon making that square to Neptune, whether it be from parents, grandparents, or some kind of maternal and paternal energy in your lives, if there was something that was told to you that is coming up for review and you're like, is that story, is that belief something I want to hold on to moving forward, or can I slash through that and now claim a new reality for myself, knowing that I'm worthy, knowing that when people want to love me and support me, I'm going to allow them to love and support me wholeheartedly, whatever that is for you. But there's something where you're making things much more difficult than they need to be. And one simple example is what we talked about before. When you're tired, rest. When you're hungry, eat. When you need support, ask for it. You don't have to make things so much more complicated. It can literally be that easy. And maybe that's all this new moon is here to teach you, that it doesn't have to be hard. It gets to be easy. That change is easy. Change is easy. All right. So with that, we're going to end off with a little meditation. And then you're off on your way to enjoy the time of integration and change. So when you're ready, you can close your eyes, taking a nice deep breath in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Taking a moment to check in with your body, perhaps giving it a little bit of extra love. Grateful for the time that you took to do this work here today. Breathing in and out. Just doing a light body scan, seeing if there's any pain or tension. And if there is, just surrounding that pain or tension with a white light. Noticing what your body is trying to tell you through that pain or discomfort. Is it in relation to a thought, an emotion, person, or opportunity? There's no need to judge it. Just simply being aware and reflecting. Taking another breath in and exhale. Going further into your body. Simply asking the question, what is it that you need at this time? What is it that you need at this time? And allowing your mind, body, and spirit respond. You start to hear waves in the background and heat on your skin. You see yourself on a beach. The sun is rising. You can already feel the heat from that sun, even as it just slowly starts to ascend from the horizon. Now, there's multiple things you can do at this beach. You can simply stay here, enjoying the view, noticing the expansiveness before you. You can go swimming, allowing the water to heal you. You can open your phone and call someone to tell them that you love them or simply to hear their voice. And this can be someone that you may not even know yet. This can be someone that you're calling in, a friend, lover, colleague, child. Just think of that person and open your phone and call. Or you can build a sandcastle, building your empire, seeing this next expansion grow before you. There's no right or wrong answer. Just do what you intuitively feel called to do. Admiring the sun, swimming in the ocean, calling a loved one, or building a sandcastle. As you engage in this energy, noticing what's coming up, allowing this decision to be easy. There's nothing else that needs to be done from you at this time. Simply enjoy the process. Notice how you're feeling. Allow a smile, or even a greater smile, to cross your lips. This life, this ease, this fantasy will continually expand before you to allow new clues, new intuitive downloads to come forward, to allow you to collapse timelines, to feel more of this beautiful, expansive feeling. Now, notice what element you chose: the sun being fire, ocean being water, the phone being air, and the sandcastle being earth. Connect deeper with that element, asking for support, asking for downloads, asking for healing to come forward through that element to receive any final downloads, any final words of encouragement from that element that will help you at this point in your journey. What is it that you need? What is it that you want? Being open to receive. Beautiful. As you close up this space and time, blessing yourself, giving yourself the encouragement, the support that you desire in this moment, You have everything that you need. And these spaces of healing and expansion are always available whenever you need. You got this. Slowly coming back to your body. Allowing the experience that you just had to integrate. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay. So I just want to recap the tarot cards that we pulled. The Moon, Ace of Swords, Five of Wands reversed. As you integrate that meditation and everything that we talked about, being aware of what's coming through, where things are difficult in your life right now, and where things are asking you to be easier, where you're being asked to let go, where you're being asked to change, so that these things can come in easier and easier, that you can allow for greater support, greater healing, greater mentorship, greater support, greater opportunity, greater love, greater finances, greater travel, exploration, all the goods to come in. And with regards to the meditation, that was not initially the meditation that I had planned. I was going to do a dream life type meditation, future self type meditation. But then when I started going, it completely shifted. So the blessings of this mutable fire energy that we talked about, but sit with that element that you chose, right? Fire, water, air, or earth, because that likely is an element that is calling out to you to help support you moving forward. Yes, this new moon is in a fire sign. That doesn't mean you had to have chosen fire, the sun, in that meditation, right? You can choose whatever spoke to you in that moment. And of course, you can go back to this meditation whenever you need. It can also be a daily energy, right? I know for me, I've really been connecting with the earth element a lot lately in terms of physical health and the foods that I eat and just being grateful for my surroundings or going for nice walks and being very comfortable in my setting. Noticing what came up for you. And you don't have to overcomplicate this. I'm happy to answer questions if you post them in the comments, if you feel comfortable doing so. But fire can just be the passion, the fuel, the fire that you're wanting to exude or tap into, right? Passion is a big one for fire. Water can be the healing, the emotion, right? When we take a shower too, it's like we're cleansing ourselves, we're releasing all unaligned energy from the day. It can also be an invitation to feel more if you chose the ocean. If you chose air, talking on the phone, it can mean that there's more journaling, more breath work, conversations that need to be had currently so you can build greater love through your words, even your own voice. And then with the earth element, it could be health, it could be land, it could be money, it could just be being grounded in this realm moving forward. So that is all I got for this new moon workshop. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them all. Take the time to integrate, slow down. It's like slow down and go for it. Go for it in the sense of you can have whatever you desire, but there's likely something that needs to be evaluated or processed or integrated for that imminent expansion to happen easier. All right. So sending you all the love. I'm wishing you a fabulous new moon integration, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.